We're going to jump into the Word, and we've been on this kind of non-named series for the last couple weeks as we get ready. Next Sunday, we'll start a new series for the next 8 weeks, starting next Sunday, so you'll hear more about that. But for the last 3 weeks in between these series, I've just had some space and time just to kind of share what I've been thinking about, praying about, and these little devotionals that we've been having over the last couple weeks. I'm kind of asked you one question every Sunday for the last couple weeks. I'm going to do that again today. What's interesting with my world and my job, and, I kind of make like a joke when people ask me like how it is working for a church or pastor or preaching, whatever. Sunday comes every week. I don't know if you know that, but Sunday comes every week. It's like when today's over, I will start prepping again tomorrow morning for next Sunday, and that happens every single week. And so sometimes how that goes is tomorrow morning I already have ideas and thoughts, and I'm journaling and writing and have my study and research and whatever. Sometimes it takes my brain a while, my spirit a while to get around what God is saying. And sometimes God decides to not talk to me until Saturday night at midnight. And that happened last night. So all week I've been wrestling through these texts and ideas and so much in my heart and mind that I could share and jump through all these texts that I want to go through, and just didn't land anywhere, didn't feel any peace about what I wanted to say and what God wanted to say on this day. And I hope you know that, right? You know that every week I'm asking God, what do you want to say, not what I feel like saying. That's my goal every single week, is trying to find the heart of God for you and your life and your marriage. This is not just like, what do I feel like talking about today? I'm trying to find the heart of God for you every single Sunday and what God wants to speak to his church, not my church, but his church. And I had some ideas. If you don't know, my wife and I, we have 3 kids, and our youngest will be 4, which is crazy that he is 4 next month. And he's a stage 5 clinger. Stage 5. Like, he needs some psychiatric work desperately. Like, he's with me 23 hours a day, every day. There are some days and weeks he will not look at Julia. Won't talk to her. Won't address her. Like, he'll look away. Like, when I take a shower, he sits on a stool outside the shower. This is no word of a lie, and wait till I get out. He comes to meetings with Mike. He's with me all the time. And so last night I was put in the bed and I was just praying and considering what God wanted to say, and I was journaling, writing, and studying. And I thought I had what I wanted to say. Then I went upstairs and go to bed and laid my head on my pillow. It's 10:45, and God was like, "Hey, I'm not done speaking yet. Get up." And I was like, "Okay, sounds good, sir." And so we're going to read today out of Luke chapter 11. Luke chapter 11. There are 2 highly famous passages about prayer that Jesus answers a question, which is very interesting. His disciples, these 12 boys, many of them being teenagers or young 20-year-old, many believe that Peter was the oldest at 21. But most of the disciples were 18, 19-year-old boys. And they come to Jesus, which I think is very interesting. They ask him, "Lord, teach us to pray." What is interesting about that question is there is no reference in all of the Gospels that the disciples ever asked Jesus, "Can you teach us to preach?" Not one time did they ask Jesus, "Can you teach us to preach? Can you teach us to do a bunch of other things?" But they ask him multiple times, "Can you teach us how to pray?" And there are 2 very famous accounts in Matthew chapter 6 with the Lord's Prayer, and then Luke 11 is the other version of the Lord's Prayer that has 2 longer sentences in the prayer, but it's the same prayer. Our Father, our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Right, the whole Lord's Prayer. At the end of this, in Luke 11, he finishes the Lord's Prayer. He goes, "Okay, let me further illustrate what it means to pray." And here we go, Luke 11. Verse 5 says this. I want you to hear this parable, this fake story, this Dr. Seuss riddle that Jesus teaches in all the time. And we'll be doing a series here on the parables soon. But Jesus would constantly be teaching these parables, these stories, these metaphorical, allegorical, Dr. Seuss riddles that he's comparing, contrasting what does it mean to follow him. And this is one of them. Then Jesus said to them after the Lord's Prayer, then he says to them, "Suppose you have a friend." I love that. It's like, you might have one. It's not a guarantee you have some friends. Let's just suppose you have some. Here's a fake story. Let's say you have some friends. Suppose you have a friend. You go to him at midnight and say, "Friend, lend me 3 loaves of bread. A friend of mine has come on a journey and has come to me. I have no food to offer him." And suppose the one on the inside answers, "Don't bother me. The door's already locked and my children are already in bed. I can't get up and I can't give you anything. I tell you," look at this, Even though he will not get up and give you bread because of friendship, yet because of your shameless audacity, he will surely get up and give you as much as you need. So I say to you, here's a little parable. So then what I say is ask, and it will be given. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Which of you fathers, he ends the little parable with this, which of you fathers, if your son comes and asks for a fish, you will give him a snake instead? Or if he asks for an egg, you will give him a scorpion. If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your heavenly Father give the Holy Spirit to those who ask him? In this little unnamed series that we've been on, I've been kind of just asking you to come consider and ask some questions with me, just moments of contemplation. The first week we talked about, what is your identity? What is the highest form of your identity? We talked about that it is to be a son and a daughter. That is your highest form of identity, is to be a son and daughter of God. Last week we talked about what are you aiming at? What are you going for? What's the goal in this life? What is the win? What's the target? We talked about the most important thing that you should aim for is to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. So we talked about, what is your identity? What are you aiming for? Today I want to ask, what have you quit on? What have you quit on? What have you given up on? So the disciples come to Jesus and say, hey man, we don't know how to pray. We've seen you pray. We've heard you pray. We would like you to teach us how to pray. Jesus says, for sure, this is how you pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Let your kingdom come, which will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and don't lead us into temptations, and forgive us as we forgive others. And he goes, okay, let me further explain how I want you to pray. Let's just say you have a friend, and you realize that you need some bread, and you go to this friend at midnight, and you bang on the door until they open it. And just so you know, the friend's not going to open the door because he loves you. It's because you're annoying. And then he's going to give you what you need, because what father wouldn't give his kid what he asked for? I want you to pray like that. So I want to unpack this just item by item. And now this is the problem with learning more about the Bible. The more that you grow in your faith, is every passage, every story could be 14 sermons and so many different angles that we can go. And so we're going to just unpack a few. We'll skip across the top. We won't go too deep today, okay? Last week was too deep. We all drowned it, okay? It was too much. Last week was too much. And so we'll skip across the top today and talk about some stuff. Number one, he says, suppose you have a friend. He doesn't say, suppose you have a master. Suppose you have a boss. Suppose you have a neighbor. He says, I want you to suppose that you have a friend that is a neighbor that you can go to. First and foremost, you want to know how to pray, make sure you view God as your friend. Make sure you view God as somebody that you know that you can go to, and that you look at him and treat him and know him as a friend. A friend that what? This really unique detail, that you can go to at midnight. You better have a certain type of relationship with someone to show up at their house at midnight and bang on that door. See, midnight is a unique hour. It's not, hey, like in between lunch breaks, on your way home from work. Midnight is probably like you've just fallen into a deep sleep, right? It's like the early hours in the morning. Like it's a really inconvenient time when your child wets the bed at midnight. Like 10, 11, you're not really asleep yet, that's okay. 4 or 5 in the morning, you might as well get up at that point. Midnight, do I go back to sleep? What do I do? Right? Like midnight's a really annoying hour. So what Jesus is saying is, I want you to view prayer in such a way that you know I'm your friend and you can bother me in the most inconvenient hours of your life. You can come to my house, you can bother me, you can bang on my door, and I will get up because I am your friend. First and foremost, I just want to ask you today, really simply, how do you view God? Is he your friend, or is he just like God and distant deity and, random authority, or, the big guy in the sky, or, whatever? Or is he like, no, I can go to my friend. I can go to my neighboring friend, and even at midnight, even at the hours that do not make sense, in the most inconvenient times of my life, I can go to my friend at midnight and ask him for bread, which further means, and again, these is why I love the parables, because they're as deep as you want them to go, or they're as shallow as you want them to go. In other words, Jesus is saying, I want you to view prayer as whenever you feel lack, you get to choose what friend you go to get what you need. And I want to be the friend that you choose. I want to be the friend and the house that you choose to go to get bread in your darkest hour of the night. Because I want to be your friend at midnight. And this is what's so powerful. He says, you knock on my door, and you can ask, and the friend goes, can I get some bread? Now, I love many of you very much. But if you come to my home at midnight, and you wake me up, and I come downstairs, and I go, what can I do for you? And you go, you got some fries? Excuse me? Yeah, I'm hungry. A friend came over. Need some fries. If you're going to wake me up at midnight, it better be worth something really important. Like somebody better be dying, somebody in the hospital, like some dire need. Like it better be a really, really important thing for you to wake me up for bread. Now, what's interesting about the term bread, or the item of bread, is that bread changes weight depending upon whose hands it's in. What I mean by that is for some people, it's like, it's bread, whatever, we're hungry, friend's over, we want some food, can you give me some bread? That's like the lowest, like, I just want some bread. What Jesus is saying is, I don't care how little you think it is, please come to me, because I care about your bread moments. Or, if you haven't eaten in weeks, bread is the highest thing that you could possibly. What is bread? Jesus is saying, I want to be the friend that you choose with the lowest, minimal, random things that you care about. I care about those things too. And I want you to bring the highest, most important, heaviest level of things in life to me. I'm big enough for those things, and I'm close enough for these things. I don't care what bread means to you in each season. You can come to me. The low moments, the small little moments, and the biggest moments of life, I want you to come to me and ask for bread. Now, you and I, as we read it, you didn't blink an eye. Why? Because you're not a first century Jew that lives in Galilee in this moment. But if you were listening to this story in real time and space, and the story goes, yeah, a friend came over at midnight and asked me for 3 loaves of bread, and I gave it to him, you'd be like, you have 3 loaves of bread? At midnight? You're rich. What do you mean by that? This is how the day goes. For most human beings, 99% of human beings that lived in Galilee, they would work in the morning, hopefully make enough money by the afternoon to buy food for that day. They would take it home to their kids, family, clan, whatever village they're living in, and hopefully feed every mouth around their table. It would all be gone by dinner, and they would do it again the next day. So if you heard this story in real time, you'd be like, you have bread left over? You are a wealthy, wealthy person to have 3 loaves of bread that you just give away at midnight? What Jesus is saying is, I want to make sure that you view me like the one who has enough bread that I will never run out. I always have more than I need. I don't start over the next day hoping for more. You can come to me in the midnight hours, and I will always have enough bread to give you and your friends that are with you. That one little sentence would have blown a first century's mind. Like, wait a minute, God, you want me to view you as the one with extra bread? Yes, I do. Because whenever you come to me in my door, I always have enough bread. I always have enough provision for you. But sometimes we are raised with such a scarcity mindset, we approach God that way too. Like, because he gave all of his healing to her, there's not enough for you. Because he got them a job, there's no more jobs for you. Because he blessed their, like, we think that God is up there just like counting his little beans, and he's just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I have 4 left, and there's a lot of prayers going on in the world, so I have to like parcel out the rest of my grace and parcel out the rest of my favor because I only have, like, Jesus wants us to know, I'm the neighbor that never runs out of bread. I'm the neighbor that every single time you come over, I'm gonna have enough for you and yours. Hey, how do I pray? I'm the friend that you can come to at midnight and ask for bread. And then this is the best. He goes, but you know why I'm going to get up and do it? It's not because we're friends. I'll do it because you're annoying. It's true, isn't it? I have, as I said, my youngest son is turning 4 here. And for those of you that don't have kids, or maybe have older kids, you don't remember the age. Like, when you're raising these children, from like 1 to 2, the goal is to keep them alive. That's it. A 1-year-old's birthday party is celebrating the parents that he's alive or she's alive. That's it. It's not for the 1-year-old, okay? It's to congratulate the parents. You kept another one alive 1 more year. Like, good for you. That's what a 1-year-old's birthday party is, by the way. 2-year-old, they start learning, right? Walking, talking, and now you're trying to keep them away from stairs and falling objects, okay? That's all the 2-year-old stage is. Don't run into that. Don't fall over. Don't go near stairs. That's all that is. Don't go near a pool, okay? Around 3 or 4 is when they start like learning language, personality, their attitude. You start learning who this little human being is going to become. So right around now with my 4-year-old, his personality is in full force right now, and he is so annoying. Oh, and he has a lisp right now, and I hope it never goes away until it impedes his progress in life. But until then, I don't want him to like lose jobs because of it or anything, but I want him to have this lisp and, forever. And he talks like this, and so he'll come and go, "Hey, Daddy, you want to play with me?" And it's so hard to say no. And so sometimes I'll be at home and I'll be studying, working on my computer and my Bible and commentaries, whatever. I have my whole desk and I'm working, and he'll just go, "Hey, Daddy, you want to play baseball?" And because my son, my 12-year-old, he plays baseball. So now the little brother, right? He has his helmet on, his gloves that like go to his elbow, right? He has like his bat, He's like, "You want to play baseball with me?" And so this happened like a couple days ago. I'm like reading, and he's, "Do you want to play baseball with me? Do you want to play baseball with me? Do you want to play baseball with me? Do you want to play baseball with me? Hey, you want to play baseball with me?" And then he goes, "You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me." And then I go, "Yeah, I am." And he goes, "What did I say?" This is real. I'm listening. "What did I say?" And I go, "You want to play baseball?" He's like, "So you're not listening to me?" And he just kept going. "You want to play baseball with me? You want to play like honestly, probably 4,000 times. You want to play baseball with me?" So finally, I was like, "Fine." So I shut my computer. I'm a good dad, okay? I shut my computer. I moved my Bible. I'm like, "Yeah, dude, let's go." He's like, "It's because you love me." I go, "No. It's because you won't leave me alone." Right? Like, I did not want to play baseball. I'm mid-sermon, right? I'm mid-prep right here. I'm like, why am I going to do it? Because you are persistent. And you won't leave me alone. So your persistency, your nagging ability to get me to pay attention now has shifted my focus. This is what Jesus says. You want to know how to pray? Bother me until I do something. This is Jesus' parable on prayer. You want to get me to move? Be persistent. Keep knocking on that door until I move. Now look at this is craziness. Look at the text. I'm reading you the Bible, friends. The man says, "Give me some bread." And the guy on the inside goes, "No. I'm busy, I'm tired, I'm asleep, my kids are out, leave me alone." He says, "But if you keep knocking, and I'll eventually get up." Whoa. Time out. So you're telling me, you teach me how to pray. Yes, that's what I'm teaching you how to pray. So you want me to pray where even if I feel like you said no, to keep praying. So maybe God's no is an invitation, not a statement. So maybe God's no wasn't no. It was pray again. He said, there will be times in this life where you feel like I'm busy, I'm asleep, and I can't come to the door. But that's not a no. That's an invitation for you to keep on praying and keep on knocking until I get up. Consider that. That sometimes God's no is actually not a no. It's a question of your faithfulness. It's a question of your consistency. Will you come back again? See, my oldest son, he'll ask for things. It's because like a friend has it. Like he'll come back from Carter's house and be like, "Well, Carter has this, can I have it?" He'll come back from a friend's house, "Well, so-and-so has this," right? And he'll ask for things, I'll go to Julie and be like, "Hey, Cruz asked for this." And I won't get him it until he asks for like another month and another month, because he'll ask for stuff and not really mean it. So I'll say no in the moment, "Hey, buddy, we can't do that. I'm not going to buy you that," or whatever. And then he asks again the month after, and the month after, and the month after. And then I'm learning that because of his persistency and consistency, he actually means what he asked for. Though I said no 6 months later, he's come back again and again and again and again. And now I know, oh, you really, really want this. Why? Because you didn't just ask me one time about it. So maybe in this story, Jesus is saying, there's been some times where we feel like God said no. That is not a no. That's an invitation to keep on knocking, keep on asking, and be what? Persistent. Then he goes on to say, what father, when their child asks for bread, gives them a snake? What father, when their child asks for an egg, gives them a scorpion? He says, if you people, being evil compared to me, give good gifts to your children, how much more will our heavenly Father give to those of us? In other words, Jesus is saying, I'm not like your neighbor and I'm not like your father. Do you see the contrast in the parable? I'm nothing like the neighbors you have, and I'm nothing like the father that you have. I'm the neighbor that will get up, and I'm the father that wants to give you more than you ask for. I'm a good neighbor, and I'm a good father. And then he says, so I want you to ask, seek, and knock. As I said, a couple weeks ago, I talked about what is your highest identity. Last week, we talked about what's your aim of life. Today, I just simple little devotion to ask you, what have you given up on? What have you stopped praying about? Or in Jesus' terms, we'll just unpack them. Number one, what have you stopped asking for? Because he said no. See, we live in such a microwave generation. We live in such a TikTok right now, drive through, do it right now, Lord. If he doesn't do it by next week, you think God is unfaithful. Consider Abraham waiting 25 years. Consider Moses waiting 18. Consider Jesus waiting 30. Consider Paul waiting 18. Like I can go on the list of every significant character in all of the Bible had to wait significant seasons of their life. So if you feel like you are in a waiting season with God, you're in good company. You're in good company because God makes some of us wait. And he wants to see if we will ask persistently over and over and over again. But it's very exhausting, isn't it? It can be very depressing, be very discouraging when you've asked 47 times and you still like the answer is no, so you give up. And God is saying, Jesus is saying, you want to learn how to pray? Ask. Consistently and persistently. So number one, what have you stopped asking for? Number two, he says, I want you to ask. And number two, I want you to seek. To seek, to look for. To pursue, to dig through, to try to find. What have you stopped looking for because you think people like you never find stuff like that? I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look for relationships like that. People like me don't have friends like that. I'm tired of looking for that kind of marriage. People like me don't have marriages like that. Like I'm done looking for that, so I'm just going to settle with what I have because I feel like what I have is going to be good enough. So I've stopped looking for anything better because every time I go looking, I come back empty-handed, and I'm tired of being embarrassed, so I just stopped seeking. What have you stopped asking for? What have you stopped seeking? And then last, he says, knock. Typically, a closed door means don't come. Usually when you show up to a party and the door is open, you're just like, oh yeah, we're all walking in, the door is open. Typically when someone closes the door on you, that means no. But not in the kingdom, not in Jesus' terms. He says, when you come up to a closed door, don't walk away, knock on it. Knock on it until someone opens it. So what have you stopped seeking? What have you stopped asking for? What have you stopped knocking on and you just left? And Jesus is coming today just through a really simple parable. No, come and be persistent. Come and knock again. Well, it seems like you're really busy. I know, but if you keep knocking, I'm going to get up one of these days. I'm going to come. I'm going to answer the door one of these days, but you just stopped asking. You've stopped pursuing. You stopped knocking. You've given up. And he says, I want you to view prayer like I'm your friend. And you can come to me at midnight. You can come to me at any hour, any day, any time. And it might seem like I'm busy doing some other stuff. I'm going to come to that door eventually. I have good news for you. I never run out of bread. I have what you need. I have the bread. You can come to me and I'll give it to you. I have loaves of bread that you do not know of. But I want you to ask for it. I want you to seek for it. And I want you to knock. Okay, so here. Why don't you just give it to me? Why do you want me to have to seek for it? Why do you want me to have to knock for it? Why can't you just give it to me? Because God has written this book. God has worked his way in this kingdom, this thing called the kingdom of heaven, in such a way where your ability and your involvement is mandatory for God to do something. Well, okay. There's other passages that God knows what we want even before we ask it. Right? That's a different portion of prayer. Jesus says, even before you ask your heavenly Father, he already knows what you need. So then why do I have to ask? Why don't you just give me what I need? If you know what I need, why do I have to ask for it? Because he wants your involvement. If you know I'm going to find it, if I look for it, why don't you just give it to me? Because I want you to learn how to seek. I want you to learn how to pursue. If you're going to open the door, why don't just open it? Why is it closed? I want you to learn how to be persistent. It's your involvement in these three areas is mandatory. But Jesus is inviting, I think, many of you today to re-engage your faith, to re-engage your prayer, to re-engage your worship in areas that you've like, I'm done. Now, some of you, I'm your worst nightmare because you literally gave up last Sunday. Like officially last week for the first time in 40 years, you're like, I'm done. And here I am. 6 days later being like, hey, we ain't giving up. Like, I just gave up. I just finally said I'm good not having that. See, that's hard, right? Is when you pursue something for so long, you get used to not having it, so you settle just not having it. So whatever, I'm gonna let go of that prayer. This is just not for us. I'm gonna let go of that desire. Just that doesn't happen for me, and I'm okay with it. But you're really not. What you're okay with is not getting your answer. And Jesus says, you want to learn how to pray? Yeah, I want to learn how to pray. You better learn how to be persistent. You better learn how to be kind of annoying. And knock, and knock, and knock, and knock, and knock. And seek, and seek, and seek. And ask, and ask, and ask. Why? Because I'm the good neighbor. And I'm a better father. So come ask me for bread. So what in your life, what in your marriage, what in your world, what in your inner world, your soul, your spirit, your heart, your mind, what have you given up on? Or, didn't really have time to unpack this in the 8:30, but whose house do you keep going to get bread that still is not working? Some of you are like, I have a house I go to. I got a place to go to get bread, but you're still hungry after you finish the meal. So, are you ready to choose a new house? Are you ready to choose a new lender? Because I got places to go. When I'm in need, I got a house where I go. And they got some bread. That's fine. They probably got some bread, but that bread doesn't suffice. Because, friend, there's only one bread of life. And his name is Jesus. His name is not America. His name is not friend. His name is not boss. His name is not company. His name is not money. His name is not sex. His name is not friendship. His name is not marriage. His name is not kids. His name is not assets. There's a whole bunch of stuff in this world that can give you natural bread that fills you for a moment. But there is only one meal that when you eat it, you feel full, you feel sufficient, you feel like you're enough. There's only one actual bread of life. But you have to choose what friend are you going to get that bread. So all of us have friends that, like, when your car breaks down, you got your friend. When you got your taxes, you got your friend. When you need help with the kids, you got that friend. We all have friends, with these areas of our life that when this goes, I got that friend. When this falls apart, I got that friend. What Jesus is saying is when you are in the darkest hour of your night and you've ran out of bread, I want to be the friend that you call. I want to be the friend that you come knocking, knowing that I have the bread of life. I have the bread that you are looking for. Or in other words, I'll read a different passage in an Old Testament version, Isaiah 55. So that's the New Testament version of pursuing God to get what you like. being bread. And this is what Yahweh says to the nation of Israel, or to the children of God, in Isaiah 55. I'm just going to read it. It'll be on the screen as well. Come, all who are thirsty. Come to the waters. And you who have no money. See, notice in the parable of Jesus, the man doesn't pay for the bread. He gets it for free. And God says, Yahweh says to Israel, hey, if you're thirsty, come. Even if you have no money, come buy and eat. Come and buy wine and milk without money and without cost. Look at this. Why spend money on what is not bread and your labor on what does not satisfy? He's saying the same thing that Jesus is saying in Luke 11. He says, why, and this is the NIV, the NLT and the ESV say it a little differently. The NLT and the ESV says, why spend money on food that leaves you hungry? Why keep buying all this bread? Why keep going to all these different places to get food when you leave hungry? Come to me. All who are thirsty and hungry, come to me, and I will give you bread that you will not leave hungry. It says, listen to me and eat what is good, and you will delight in the riches of the fair. Give your ear to me and come to me and listen that you may live. I will make an everlasting covenant with you. My faithful love that I promised to David. See, I have made him a witness to the peoples and rule over the commander of the people. Surely you will summon nations and you will not know, and nations you do not know will come running to you. But look what it says down in verse 6. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call on him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake their ways and the unrighteous their thoughts. Let them turn to the Lord, and he will have mercy on them, and to our God he will pardon them freely. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, and my ways are not your ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so my ways are higher than yours, and my thoughts are higher than yours. Look at, as the rain and snow come down from heaven and do not return to it without watering the earth, and make it bud and flourish, so that it yields seed for the sower and bread for the water. So my word does not come, so my word that goes out of my mouth. It says, and I pray this a lot from stage. He says, when my word goes forth, just like the water and the snow, it brings back a harvest. Another translation says that when you come to me with your ears open and your hearts open, I will exchange you, and it says this, where there used to be thorns, now there will be cypress trees. In other words, where there used to be barrenness, thorns and thistles, I will exchange you. I will take your thorns, and I will give you trees. What do you need to come and exchange today? Your thorns for trees. Your barrenness for fruitfulness, your emptiness, your dry land, your wilderness, your empty place in life for a flourishing place in life. But notice how the Isaiah 55 starts. Are you thirsty? Come to me. I have the living water. I have the bread. Why are you spending money on food that does not fill? When I have the bread of life, and by the way, it's free. You don't have to pay for this. You can pay for stuff out there, and it will always leave you hungry and dry. But you come to me, I have a bread, I have a water that is living, and you don't have to pay for it, for I already did. So as we go back into a time of worship today, we're going to sing and fix our eyes and attention on God. I just, honestly, I've come the last few weeks just to ask these very simple questions that could be simple, but also could be very deep and profound in your season of life. What's your highest form of identity? Last week, what's your aim in life? What do you want? And this week, what have you given up on? What have you quit? What have you buried? What have you laid aside? What have you laid dormant? That God is coming today to rebirth. He's coming to reawaken some dreams and some relationships and some people that you've given up on and some relationships that you've given up on and some dreams that God has put in your heart that you've just laid to the wayside. He's like, hey, ask again. Seek again. Knock again. You have a God, I've been doing this for 10 years. It feels like you're busy. Be persistent. Knock again. I will come up. I will get out of my chair. I will get out of my bed. I will open the door, but you're going to have to be persistent about it. you have to be a bit annoying and coming day after day after day after day, then I will get up and I will give you the bread of life. Because what father gives a scorpion instead of an egg, and what father gives a snake instead of bread? Like, no, I'm a good father. I'm the good neighbor. So I believe today, as we go into a time of worship, fix our eyes and attention on God, that you're going to have some things reawaken. So things that maybe even you've forgotten, that have been so dormant and so dead, it's been 15, 20 years since you even remembered that time with God, or that moment in your journal, or that time in church as you were a kid, or maybe it's been a few months, like I prayed about a few months ago and I've already given up. No, God is coming to re-ask. Come knock again. Come to the door where the door is closed. Knock on it. I can't find it. Keep searching. Keep looking. Well, I've asked. Ask again. There's this attitude that this parable that Jesus is sharing, there's this attitude of faith. Like, I ain't giving up. I'm coming again. I'm asking again. I'm pursuing again. I am persistent. I know I asked 100 times. I'm asking 101. I know I asked for 10 years, but hey, Lord, it's me again. Do you want to play baseball with me? He got me out of my chair. Yes, I love that kid. He's my son. But you know what I'm saying? It's just because he was persistent. Dude, you won. If you ever had like a grandparent, an older saint, say this to you, what'd you do today? I wore out heaven. You ever had people say that? Some of you like maybe weren't raised in church, but that's like an old saying. I wore out heaven today. That's where this comes from. I wore out heaven, man. I bombarded that place with my prayers and my asking and my seeking. I did not let heaven off the hook today. Man, I prayed all day and all night, and I asked again, man, I wore out heaven today. That's where that phrase comes from. And if you miss church in the 90s was a great time. Man, I wore out heaven. Well, I'm persistent. I'm coming again. So some of you today need to, and it could be very triggering in a way. It could be very, I'm tired of asking. It's hard to even admit what I want or say it again, and it's very, it's a reminding of the lack. It's a reminding of the don't have, but it's Jesus in his own parable saying, you need to come again. For those who ask will get, those who seek will find, those who knock the door will be opened.